Hi, hello, welcome back to Bioenergetics. My name is Devraj, and today we want to look at the question of neediness, particularly for men in their 20s and 30s. It's a huge issue. It's almost like we've got a kind of it's just going on everywhere, like a pandemic of neediness, basically, in our culture. And it happens particularly, like I say, to guys in their 20s or 30s, and it happens around their interactions with women, basically. So straight guys looking at women tend to get this sense of great neediness inside, and they know it's not attractive, and they're busy with it, basically. Essentially, as I see it, two main cultural factors why young men have become so needy, basically. One is in fact, we might add to that and say three, but let's two certainly. One essentially is because there is a lack of connection with the mother in the first year of life, the pre-egoic phase. We have DNA, and our DNA conditions us to expect to be really nurtured by the mother for the first year. And yet the culture does not really encourage the mother to do this, and she may be busy and whatever, and that bond tends not to really create to the depth that it ideally should do. And what that does is that activates the oral side of the personality. That's from characterology, Reichian characterology, the oral side. And what has happened is the person, or rather how this manifests as the guy grows up and goes out into the world, is that they struggle on some level to really hold boundaries, particularly with women. They struggle to hold boundaries. There's a part of them that is keeping open. It's like a subconscious fantasy of merging, because you didn't get the merging in the first year. You just came out of your mama and you expected to have more nurturing. The nurturing wasn't there, and it leaves like a trace in the body. It leaves a trace in the body and in the whole psyche. So, this difficulty of holding boundaries and this kind of unconscious need to merge. Secondarily, in our culture, guys are taught to be cool if they want to attract women. And so, feeling needy is like, as a 20-year-old guy, I'm by no means a 20-year-old guy, but I can imagine feeling very needy inside is like a nightmare, because you don't want this feeling. You want to act cool, and you want to be like the guy who's got it all together and who's pretty alpha or whatever, And so this feeling of neediness inside tends to get pushed down, and guys just want to get rid of it. But it comes up, of course, if you start to make real connections with women and you're dating and getting close, of course, this huge neediness starts to come up. And so this is, another big cultural factor. A third cultural factor may well be, I haven't thought about this so much, but the fact is that, fathers are not as present, really, as we expect them to be. And that's not father's fault, just as it's not mama's fault to not be so close. It's the culture we're brought up in. The men are often out to work, and, you don't often get the strength of father-son bond that you might need. We also don't have many kind of rite de passage initiation rituals into manhood anymore. And, a big part of that was forging the connection with the men, feeling like a man, and no longer having to, and letting go of this kind of neediness inside. I haven't thought all of this strand of it out, but there's definitely something in there for men as well. So these really are the three factors that I see. One, this oral issue from the mother. Number two, the cultural conditioning never to kind of show neediness towards women. And three, maybe the lack of connection, the lack of initiation into manhood, and really feeling like, hey, I'm part of a brotherhood of men, and we're supporting each other. So the bottom line really, one thing you can do, of course, is when you're meeting women, is to dial down a little bit on the super macho side. If you're needy underneath, accept it. You don't need to go fully into it and start collapsing and weeping in front of women because mama didn't give it to you when you were 1 year old. But you can also have a bit of honesty and a bit of awareness around, putting up a front. It's also not always so attractive to women to put up a super front. A bit, but, dial down on it a little bit if you have neediness. Be a little bit more honest, It will be referring back to the mama, but you will perceive it in the woman, the woman that you're attracted to, that you're moving towards, basically. So understand this process. Secondarily, do work to improve your boundaries. Now, boundaries are held naturally from the belly down here energetically. So you need to, look through my videos or other work where you can work on really feeling energy in your belly. The right to exist exercise is great. I'm not going to demonstrate it now, but you can look it up there. But anything that brings more awareness into your belly activates your male side more, and you have more natural sense of boundary. A natural sense of boundary. And that increases the polarity usually with women, and they find that attractive as well. Thirdly, there's also a class of exercises where you can, to overcome the oral side, you can do sucking exercises, basically, which are like, you put your tongue out and down a little bit, and then you pull it back quite fast through gently closed lips, like, so you make a little sound. Now you can lie down and do this exercise. Just lie down relaxed, somewhere where you're not going to fall asleep, so you're a little bit comfortable but not too much, and do it for 20 minutes for a week. 20 minutes a day for a week. Basically just lying there, eyes closed, and just, and imagine you're sucking up nourishment. You know, it can be like the mama's breast, or it can be, you know, just good stuff that you want in your life, money, success, whatever it is. Just imagine you're sucking up nourishment. At some point, you know, it can feel really blissful, and this is useful because this blissful feeling is like the reconnection with the mama feeling that you didn't get when you were like 6 months old and stuff. So the sucking exercise can be useful. Generally with stuff like neediness, it's pretty deep, you know, these oral traits are deep, you know, they're from the first year of life. So don't go around looking for a magic bullet fix, or you can, but it's probably not going to work. Basically, you know, don't just jump from one therapy to the next, or one exercise to the next. If you want to take on neediness, you know, you need to get energy in your belly. You need to give yourself this blissful motherly connection again, and it'll take work. You know, you will have to work at it. You know, that's part of masculinity as well. You know, men work at stuff, you know, and it's just doing it when you don't want to do it. It's committing to an intelligent regime of doing it, you know, and it's stuff like this. Okay guys, thank you for tuning in, and you know, if you really want to work on it, check out Bioenergetics The Journey, a 52-week online course with me. I've also got my book and all that stuff at bioenergetics.org.uk. Okay, speak to you soon. No more neediness. Slowly we can come out of that and be more authentic.